Since the beginning of the year, the dollar UGX opened at levels of about 3660, 3670. Then during the month of March, we had the disruptions due to COVID. We saw a lot of offshores buying dollars due to the uncertainty and moving into the safe haven, which is the dollar from the UGX. So we saw the shilling depreciate by close to about 7%. To touch levels of 3,950 during the month of March, after which we saw a lockdown coming into play. So most sectors were locked down. There was very little activity, both on the demand and supply side. Central bank also came in to intervene by selling dollars in the market. So this led to shilling strength. And during the months between April, May, June, and July, we saw more of supply of dollars coming in from commodity exporters in agricultural products, mainly to sell dollars, and then also NGO flows, mainly NGOs targeting the health sector. So this led to shilling strength. And during the month of August, we saw the shilling touch highs of 3660 against 3670. And currently, we're trading at levels of about 3680 and 3690. Overall, I could say it's factors of demand and supply that have been driving the performance of the currency. We've also seen offshore counterparties coming in to sell dollars to invest in government securities because the yields on our government securities are attractive and our inflation has remained relatively low, below the 5% level. Also internationally, we've seen that the dollar has been weakening against most of the currencies. So we've seen the shilling has also taken tandem, the Uganda shilling, and has strengthened against the dollar. One of the things the country can do, we need to have increased exports as opposed to imports, because if we export more of commodities, that means we'd have dollar flows coming through. And then if interest rates also remain attractive to offshore investors, if we continue to have relatively low inflation, more or less a stable currency, and then also the political climate, if it's not unstable, then we'll see offshore investors, of course, coming into the market and selling dollars to invest in our government securities, and that can help boost the currency. One of the things we've seen, our exports in coffee, I think, have gone up as a country. We've also had some other agricultural products where we've seen the numbers go up, and I think even gold as an export. So we've seen some of these dollar flows actually coming in. Then on the government securities side, offshore investment in government securities at the moment is close to about, I think, 7% at the moment. So that shows that our government securities are actually attractive to offshore investors, especially the tax that was reduced on the 10-year and 15-year with withholding tax of 10%. It makes it more attractive for an investor to buy that government security. So that's an initiative government provided. Then also our central bank has been proactive in managing the interest rates, and with all their open market operations, we have a good buffer of reserves. As at June, it was about $3.9 billion with 5.2 months of import cover. So it has created an environment that's attractive for the offshore investors to actually come and invest in Uganda. Some of the risks I think that we have, one as a country, is definitely we are more of an import-based country. For the COVID period, we've seen a slowdown in some of the sectors in the economy, and at some point, I think our imports still will come into play. People, once the airport is open, will see more imports coming in. So that dollar demand definitely is likely to come through, and it may see the shilling actually weaken. Then we also have the political aspect of elections coming up, all the uncertainty. Will an offshore really be comfortable in coming to invest at this moment if they see any signs of political instability? So that is also a risk that we have. Then inflation has been stable, but if it spikes way out of control, that like we've seen in some of the other countries like Zambia, will we see offshore flight from our market getting out of government securities and then buying dollars, causing the shilling to weaken? So markets are always disruptive, so anything that comes out, if the dollar economy gets back to its previous glory, will we see offshores exiting emerging markets and going into dollars again? So that's also another risk that we have on the currency.